What is up, people? Today it's taco time. Tacoma 2018 TRD Sport 4-wheel drive. We'll be doing axles on this bad boy. I already done driver's side. We're gonna do the passenger side. They're the same axles, should be the same procedure. Nothing out of the way. I will say, if you are doing your driver's side axle, go ahead and do the bushing upgrade. I'll put a link down at the bottom for y'all to where you can get it. The company is in Lewisburg, North Carolina. That's where my wife is from, actually. But they're from there. They make this bushing kit. Comes with the seal, the tool to install it, the tool to remove it, and even the bushing. So it is a really nice kit. A lot of these things, especially lifted ones, they get a lot of play in them. The axle will actually move around. I've did it on this truck, actually. And whenever we took it out, it was really bad. The bushing was horrible, and the truck had 80,000 miles on it, and it was a stock truck, no lift at that point. So put a link to that. Shout out to that company. I forgot what the name of it is, but I will find it before I close out the video to give them a proper shout out. But that kit will make a major difference in how it drives too. It stiffens up that axle, and you don't get any of that front end vibration. But Detroit Axles is what he got. He got an Amazon 10-year warranty, people. That's what he was saying that they offered. Part number, I don't know if it's the 8168 or the P05398. I'll find a link to that, put it down at the bottom for y'all. But let's go over to the other side. I'll show you how we rip this bad boy out. So, got the tire off right here. It's going to be a little echoey in here. This is kind of like my garage shop area. It is not straightened up at all, so if y'all get a glimpse of it, don't judge me. Plus, I don't have all of my tools here at the shop that I've been helping a guy out with, and I've been doing a lot of stuff there, boats and cars alike. But we got the tire off, and first thing we have to do is knock this cover off. Axle nut is behind here. She is a big boy. She is a 36 millimeter. So if you do not have a 36 and you're going to do this job, you're going to have to go buy one. You don't really need a whole lot of tools to do this, people. 36, 17, and 19, and a screwdriver, a pair of pliers, torque wrench, jack stands, drain pan. Because you may lose some axle fluid, differential fluid, whatever you want to call that stuff. The stinky stuff, I should say. But put the drain pan underneath there, because if you don't have it jacked up enough, it will leak out on you. I like to keep mine lifted up a little bit. I'm going to put a jack stand underneath here. Don't have it yet, but that's water, by the way, not fluid. But that's the drain pan. But like I was saying, put a drain pan under it. You may lose some fluid. If you do, put it back in. I don't know what brand it is. I keep all weights in stock in my garage just because I never know what I'm going to need, people. But yeah, like I said, let's pop this cover off. I'm just going to use a screwdriver and a hammer. Or you can use a chisel and a hammer. Whatever you got, just stick it in between right here. Hammer it down, and then I get the screwdriver and twist it, and they pop right off. Like I said, just a screwdriver, pops right off. Then I'll move y'all around. I ain't got my tools ready. Get a pair of these. And if I can, I'm gonna try to save these, because these cotter pins are actually in really good shape. I know I'm doing it on my phone, so getting it out is hard one-handed. I can't hold it. Oh, quit moving on me. Messed up threads on this axle. I'm not worried about it. Because there, cotter pin saved. Put them down. I'll have this cover. Then we're going to use my impact. If you don't have an impact, use a pry bar. Oh yeah, you're going to need pry bars too. Forgot about that. If you don't have an impact, put a pry bar, in your studs right here. Put your lug nuts back on it so you don't mess up your threads. But put your pry bar in it, kind of like this. Something like that. That way, whenever you rotating it, but you're gonna do it this way. But whenever you're rotating it, it's gonna break it loose. Just a little tip for y'all. And sorry that was loud. Impact 36. If you got your buds on or headphones, be warned. And I'm actually going to reuse this nut because I like that nut a lot better. At the end of the hammer, make sure she goes in. Then we're going to take sway bar end link off right here, 17. Then right there, I know you can't really see it. It's your tie rod end link. You have a cotter pin. Pull that cotter pin out, 19 millimeter. We'll take that out as well. And I know I can't, I'm not showing this stuff on the camera just because I'm on my phone. My battery is dead on my camera again. Don't know why. But, and I have 3 batteries and every one of them is dead, but I've been filming stuff lately. So, and my wife's been using it to take pictures too. So that's probably why the batteries are dead, and gotta clear out some of my video cards. Get the sway bar nut off of there. Now we gotta do the tie rod. Leave the nut on it. I don't have my tie rod tool with me, or I would use it, but normally the tie rod tool goes in between. It's like a little spread piece like that in between, and it presses on that, pops it out. Love that tool. Forgot all about bringing it with me. I got it at the shop in my other toolbox. But hammer, hit right on the knuckle. Try not to hit the threads, but hit the knuckle and it should loosen up. You don't have a lot of room in here either. I'll put the nut back on tie rod. And now you can see you can move it around. This won't come out yet because I got to take the bottom nuts off on the lower ball joint. There's 2 of them. Sorry about that, people. Somebody came up and I had to talk to them. But like I was saying, the lower ball joint, there's 2 nuts. You don't have to take the actual ball joint out of the little housing it's in, but you can use 2 nuts. I'll kind of show them to you. There's one right there. We're going right there, and there's one on the other side. Take those 2 off, and once you take those off, you can actually pick the knuckle up and move it around. So I'm going to use an impact just because, and then it should lower down. Be careful, there may be some tension on it if you're doing it with a ratchet, so just keep that in mind. But I'm going to use this impact, and it is a 19 as well. I can find the bolt. That's what your bolts look like. Also, make sure you put thread locker back on them when you do it. I'm going to clean those off and put thread locker on it before I go. And put them back in. Where's the other one? Okay. I just go a little bit at a time because I don't know how much tension is on it. All right, and now you can see how much room we got. So I'm going to pull this that way, but I'm also going to pull this sway bar end link out first. Ooh, I got hiccups, but I'm going to pull the sway bar end link out first, and that'll give me a whole lot more room to move around. Sway bar link is loose right there. Pop the axle loose. Right. And to do so, I'm going to press with a hammer. And okay, it's moving now. Now I'm going to pull this way and swing it over to my left. And there we go. See, now that I got that out of the way, you can see how much that moves. Plus, axle's loose right there. Now, I'm just going to go up inside of here, and like I said, these are tight in here. These axles are super tight. Last time I did one, it took me probably 45 minutes just to get the axle out. Hopefully I don't have to do it. The driver's side popped out easy, but I think that's because I've already popped it out once and put that bushing kit in there. So I think that helped out a lot. So All right, so got the axle in here. Don't have it all the way in, but just stuck it in to keep as much fluid from draining out as possible. But once you get it in there, use the axle and hammer it in there until it seats. Don't know if I can show you this. I'll try to see what I can do. Nah, I'm not gonna be able to, but use it to hammer it in there. Just use the end of it and just pop it back and forth. I got the axle in, and this one's a little harder to pop in than I thought. But I put this nut, I'm not going to use this nut. I put it on the end right here. Oh, I can't get it back on real easy right now. Put it back in on the end, and I used my hammer and tapped it in, and it slid right in. I'll show you why we are replacing them. Both of them were busted right there. He put a little tape around them just to get it here, so it wasn't throwing grease everywhere. And you can see where it was leaking out a little bit right there as well. So that is the reason we were doing it. I got all my torque specs right down right there by my knee. But that was it. And we didn't really lose a lot of fluid on this altogether. I will go back in, and this side, since I still had it jacked up, every time I do them, I leave it kind of jacked up where it's at an angle so it doesn't lose as much. And I forgot to show y'all this, but I don't know why I didn't think about it. Just in a moment, I guess. I changed the axle seal on here. All you have to do, just get a screwdriver in there, tap it, and it'll pop right out. I mean, this is a screwdriver I used too. It's got a real thin blade. Stuck it in there until it collapsed the seal, and then popped it out. I mean, you see how big that is? That's just a little longer than my hand. Doesn't take much at all. Wish I would have showed y'all that. That would have been a good point on this. Crap. Sorry about that. That's my fault. But now, we're going to put all this back together. Just reverse procedure. Whenever I get ready to go torque them down, I will show me torquing it down, show you the trick I use to torque the axle nuts on too, and then show you how I get this to line back up on these. You can get a better look at that now. See how it's got a bolt goes in through there and a bolt goes in through there. Love that design. I wish a lot of people use that, just because when you're taking knuckles off and doing axles and stuff, that makes a great difference, because you don't have to worry about trying to not damage the boot. You don't have to worry about, pulling the arm down a little bit further and stuff. This right here, it's just a good design. I love that design. But I am a Toyota fan. I know some people don't, but like I said, I do love that design. It makes it easier when doing stuff like this. All right, so here's the little trick I use. It ain't really a trick, it's just common sense, I guess. But put a jack underneath the back of the control arm, jack it up a little bit, and then, I know it's super dark right now. Let me get my light up and all. But right there is the bolt. Start one of them, get it ran up about halfway, and then on the other side you can move the knuckle where you need it. See how it moves? Move it, and then you can black that light a little bit. Then you can start that one and run it up about halfway. And then once they're ran up about halfway each, I just use ratchet, impact, whatever you got. I'm not putting a lot on them, just putting them in, because I still have to torque it off. And that's pretty much putting that right there back in there. They line up fairly easy, to be honest. Nothing really out of the way that kind of you need to know about when putting those on. So let me get my torque wrench, and I'll kind of show you the torque specs and how I do everything. How I do everything. I don't know why I'm burping so much. I mean, I ate breakfast, but God, that was 3 hours ago. Start off with the lowest torque first. 52 is your sway bar. I don't know how. That was easy. Then tie rod end is going to be next. That is 67. Tie rod. Yeah, I think it's at 67. I knew I didn't have much on it, but now on this tie rod, you may have to turn it a little bit more to get the cotter pin to line up. Always tighten it to line it up. Do not loosen it. So I gotta go probably another 1/8 of a turn. A little bit more actually. Okay, and there we go. Now my cotter pin hole is lined up. Next, we're going to do the bottom 2 bolts right here for your lower ball joint. Those are 118. I'm not going to show both because it is hard to do this angle. But 118, did the other one already. Now, all we got left is an axle nut. Let me set this up and I'll show you exactly how we're going to torque it. And that bad boy is 173. And there we go. That's my setup. 2 lug nuts right here. Put the pry bar in it. Make sure it's prying against both of them. Put it whichever way you got it. Got to do it. Then got the socket on there. Now, pry down on this bad boy. Move this light out of your way. And I always double check them. There we go. 173. Now, put your cover piece and it should line up one way or another. I'm going to get you. Right. Push it in a little bit. Get your cover. Get it started. And there we go. She's done. Everything's on, everything's torqued, everything's tight. So that's pretty much it. All you gotta do is put your wheel back on. Wheels torqued to 87. I go to 90. Just on a stock wheel, I think these wheels right here, they recommend 100. So we're going to torque those down, put it on, and clean everything up, and job done. If you got any questions, comments, concerns, leave them in the comment section below. I'll get to them as soon as possible. Also, if I didn't like the video, let me know why, because I like to know that kind of stuff. Try to improve my videos as much as I can. And then if you didn't like it, I got about 400 other videos. Go check them out. Probably find something you do like. I hope so. Y'all know what to do. Hit the like, subscribe, notification bell if you haven't already. And as always, torque this tight. Y'all have a great day.